Hey everybody, I just wanted to sit down and give my honest opinion about storage auctions, and basically I want to try to separate the truth from the bullshit. Because a lot of the shit you see on these TV shows about the storage auctions, we all know it's bullshit. Look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything or try to bullshit anyone. What the TV shows don't show is how much work actually goes into cleaning out the units. All they do is fast forward through all the work to collecting the money, basically. If you can't lift a lot of heavy shit all day, or if you're a lazy person, then don't waste your time. Don't think you're gonna go out and go to your first auction and get rich, because that's bullshit. Yeah, you can go to your first auction and make a profit, but you probably won't get rich. I mean, if it was that easy and that was the case, everyone would be doing it. Don't believe the bullshit. I had guys tell me shit like, hey, I made $500,000 off a unit last month. I was like, yeah, and I had a threesome with Halle Berry and Jessica Alba. Yeah. I also had people say shit like, no one has ever made money from storage auctions. I was like, yeah, and yeah, and I guess you were born with your balls backwards, because quitters never do shit, only pussies quit. The point I'm trying to make is, you can't get into this and try to do it and only go half-assed. You have to get into it. I mean, you have to basically just dive right in. You can't just try it once and then go, oh, I'll do it again in 6 months. I'll do it again in a year, 2 years, whatever. If you're going to do it and expect to make money off it, you're going to have to do it on a regular basis. You can't just step into it once and then back out, step back into it, back out. Because it's not like that. I had one idiot try to tell me, oh, storage auctions are fake and they're bullshit made up for TV. Oh, man. When that idiot told me that, I was like, yeah, and I guess you believe that Charlie Sheen is actually winning. Speaking of Charlie Sheen, speaking of Charlie Sheen, that motherfucker is probably the craziest crackhead I've ever seen in my life. The fact is, if you want to make a living with this shit, you better expect to work your ass off and don't expect much sleep. Because when you buy units, you'll be up most of the night either cleaning out the units or looking through all the stuff to get it ready to sell. This is not some stupid get-rich-quick scheme or something like that. It's hard work. A lot of people who have seen the TV shows think you can go out to a few auctions and never have to work again, but the fact is, that's bullshit. The TV shows are for the entertainment value. They don't show what it's really like They only show the fun shit, because if they showed everything else, the show would be long and boring and would get canceled, basically. Oh yeah, this is one of those things I wanted to bring up. I had someone tell me, "Oh, if you've seen the show Storage Wars, the girl on that show, I think her name was Brandy." I had someone tell me, "Oh, women at storage auctions never look as good as Brandy." I'm going, okay. Let me tell you something. If you've never actually been to a storage auction, I'll tell you this. There are women out there who look as good or better than Brandy. Brandy's not all that, alright? And most of the women who go to storage auctions who look like that use that to their advantage. By that, and not only that, not only do they use their looks and stuff like that to their advantage at storage auctions, I think some of the women are actually worse than men in some ways at the storage auctions. At least in my experience. I mean, when it comes to backstabbing, dirty tactics and shit like that, I've seen some women at storage auctions that were fucked up when it comes to shit like that. I know a guy who dated a female auction buyer for almost 2 years, only to find out she was using him that whole time. So yeah, some of the women are fucked up. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying guys don't do the same fucked up shit to make sure they get the units, because we do. Another thing I think is funny is how people watch the TV shows, then go to an auction and try to pretend they're Dave Hester and run people up. I think it's funny because every time I've had some idiot try that with me, I drop the unit on him and send him home broke. When someone tries that shit with me, I feel like I'm a giant and all these annoying little kids are throwing rocks at me, trying to piss me off. I have this little thing I always say when one of these guys who saw one of the TV shows and he thinks he can bid me up. I have this thing, after I drop the unit on him, I'm like, "Bitch, be gone." It's funny because every time I do that, they look at me like, "What the fuck?" Another thing I've noticed people on YouTube saying is that there are some closely guarded secrets making it big in storage auctions. But the fact is, everyone who's ever done this shit has his or her own technique to it. There's no secret, as people like to call it, because say you have something that you think is your big money making secret in this business or whatever, I guarantee you that someone in some other state somewhere is using that same exact fucking technique, calling it his or her secret to making money in this business. So the fact is, there really aren't any secrets. There's just techniques that people use. Because somewhere, someone is also using that same thing you use. You just don't know about it because you're nowhere near where they live at. But sooner or later, you're going to run into someone at an auction who's using the same fucking technique as you. And you're going to realize, what the fuck, that's my secret. Then basically you're going to come to realize that in this business, there really aren't any secrets because everybody has their own techniques that they use, but those aren't really secrets because, like I said, somewhere someone else is using that same fucking technique. And the funny thing about those techniques is you're using them thinking you're the only one. That other person in that other state is using it thinking he or she is the only one using it. Because they don't actually open their eyes or their mind and say, hey, maybe someone in another state is using this same fucking technique. They think just because they're the only one in their area or whatever that's using that technique, that they're the only one in the world who knows it. But the fact is they're not. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about storage auctions because it's something that I don't really want to go into a lot of detail in this video, but sooner or later I'll talk more about it. But I just wanted to talk about a few things in regards to storage auctions and the TV shows and shit like that. But I didn't want to go too deep into details because I have another video planned where I wanted to talk about some of the other stuff that I've seen or heard at storage auctions. So I'm going to end this video now, and hopefully everybody learns something or come to a realization when you watch this video. Those of you who think you have some big secret. The funniest part about people who claim to have a secret in this business, I've ran into a lot of you. Oh, I have this secret. Every time someone tells me something like that, I always tell them exactly what their technique is. And then they look at me like, what the fuck? And then that's when they realize it's not a fucking secret. I like doing that to people. They claim, oh, I have this secret, no one else knows about it. Blah, 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 blah. And then I tell them what it is, and then they fucking shit their pants. That's the fun part. People who claim they know every little detail and they have all these big secrets. But the fact is, they know the same thing that everyone else knows who actually makes a living doing this shit.